Have you ever had this quiet, uncomfortable thought? I should be further by now. Further in your career, further financially, further in your relationship, further spiritually, further in life. You look around, you see other people ahead. They're married, they have children, they bought a house, they built a business, they found their purpose, they look confident, and you feel late, even if you're doing well, even if you're functioning, even if objectively you're not failing. But there's this subtle pressure inside. I missed something. I chose wrong. I wasted time. I should have figured this out already. And no matter what you achieve, the feeling doesn't really fully go away. And if that resonates, this video is important, because the feeling behind being behind is rarely about time. It's about something much deeper, and today I'm going to explain the real emotional mechanism behind it. And of course, the One Bach Flower Remedy that shifts this pattern at its root. And I'll tell you exactly how to take it, so you'll have a plan ahead. So stay until the end. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a Bach Flower practitioner and vibrational healer, and I work with emotionally self-aware people who want to heal their inner world and improve their lives, of course using the beautiful Bach Flower remedies. And the feeling of being behind is one of the most common hidden anxieties I see, especially in very capable and sensitive adults. So let's name this correctly, because most people think feeling behind means something like, I didn't work hard enough, or I made the wrong choices, or I'm not disciplined enough, or I lack clarity, I'm not talented enough. But look closely. Even when you achieve something, the feeling often stays. You reach a goal and immediately your mind says, yes, but. Yes, but you're still not where you should be. Yes, but others are further. Yes, but you started late. So this is really not about milestones. It's about internal positioning. You don't feel behind because of time. You feel behind because you don't feel aligned, and that's different. So let's go a little bit deeper. Feeling behind often comes from comparison layered with uncertainty. Comparison says others are ahead, and uncertainty says, I'm not even sure I'm on the right path here. And when those combine, something destabilizing happens. You stop trusting your direction. You question your choices. You hesitate before committing further. Because if you're already behind, why risk choosing wrong again? And here's the subtle part. When you don't feel aligned with your own path, time starts to feel like pressure. Every birthday becomes evaluation. Every success of someone else becomes confrontation. Every delay becomes proof. Your nervous system interprets this as, I'm off track, and being off track feels unsafe. So you rush, or maybe you freeze, or you compare constantly, or you start new directions over and over, not because you're incapable, but because you don't feel rooted. Very often this pattern begins when you never fully chose your path. Maybe you followed expectations, family expectations, societal expectations, security expectations, spiritual expectations. Maybe you are talented in many directions, interested in many things, curious, sensitive, capable. And instead of clarity, well, you have options. And options without inner certainty feel more like instability. So you move, but not fully. You commit, but with doubt. You build, but while questioning. And years later, you look around and think, I should be further. But the deeper truth might be, I never fully claimed my direction. And that creates existential drift. And this is subtle. Some people identify as achievers, others identify as seekers. The seeker identity feels spiritual, open, explorative, evolving. But it can also become avoidance, because as long as you're searching, you don't have to declare, this is my path. Declaring a path removes alternatives, and that feels risky. So you stay in exploration mode and then compare yourself to people who committed early and feel behind. but you're not behind, you're unanchored, and unanchored people always feel late. You can make vision boards, you can plan 5-year strategies, you can analyze strengths and weaknesses. But if emotionally you don't feel anchored to your direction, time will continue to feel threatening. And this is where Bach Flower Remedies matter, because they don't force clarity, they restore inner alignment. They stabilize emotional direction, they work on the subtle layer beneath thought. Bach Flower Remedies are natural drops made from flowers, and they help with emotional states such as doubt, discouragement, guilt, fear, and confusion, and so on. And they don't work on the physical body. They work energetically on thoughts, emotional patterns, and behavioral tendencies. And that's why they are safe and incredibly powerful. So the unexpected route is really lack of direction. And the one Bach Flower remedy that addresses the feeling of being behind at its core is Wild Oat. Wild Oat is not simply for career confusion. It is for people who sense potential but not precision. People who feel capable but not certain. People who want to do something meaningful but can't define exactly what. Wild Oat people often change direction repeatedly or hesitate before committing long term. They feel frustrated by wasting time and they compare themselves constantly. They sense they're meant for something more, but without clear direction, time feels like loss. So Wild Oat restores that inner alignment, not by giving you a job title, but by reconnecting you to what feels deeply right. When Wild Oat begins to work, something stabilizes. You stop looking sideways so much. You stop measuring constantly. Begin choosing more decisively. And when you choose decisively, time stops feeling like the enemy. Now, on a deeper level, Wild Oat is about vocation, about calling, about the feeling of being here for something specific. Feeling behind is often not about achievement. It's really about purpose anxiety. The soul senses movement is needed, but the personality hesitates. And Wild Oat brings those two back in alignment. So you stop drifting and start directing. What changes when Wild Oat begins to work? You may notice you feel clearer about your next step. You compare less, you commit more fully. You feel less rushed. You trust your timing more. Not because life speeds up somehow, but because you stop standing outside your own path. And when you stand inside your path, there is no behind, there is only direction. If you're listening and thinking, this is me, then you'll probably love my course, Bloom into Balance. It's not a practitioner training, it's really for people who want to understand their own emotional patterns really deeply and choose remedies accurately. Inside, I guide you step by step in making personal remedy bottles that shift your identity level patterns. The Remedy Circle is open for a short time for free, and if you join now, you also get lifelong free access, and I also offer consultations if you want personalized support. So all my links are below if you need me. Now here's a practical plan. If Wild Oat resonates, very simple. Step number 1, get a 10 milliliter stock bottle, either from your local health store or on the internet. I also leave some links below, or you just type in Bach Flower Remedy Wild Oat and you just order or buy the stock bottle. Step number 2, you take a bottle of still water, so no tap water and also no sparkling water. And then you add 2 drops of Wild Oat into your bottle. You sip throughout the day and you do this daily for at least 2 to 3 weeks. And while taking it, observe, where am I comparing? Where am I hesitating to choose? Where do I feel unanchored? Instead of asking, why am I behind? Ask, what direction feels really true right now for me? So let Wild Oat support that alignment. If this video helped you, leave a comment, even just a small "this is me," or share it with someone who really needs to hear this, or put one of my playlists on in the background. Those small actions help the channel grow more than you know, and it's free. Thank you so much for being here. I loved making this video, and I'll see you in the next one.